Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Vintage Sports Card Finds. My name is Paul, and it's good to be back tonight. We are in the middle of one of the worst windstorms I can remember. Gusts up here in the Northeast at crazy mile per hour. I'm seeing flagpoles bend. So it is something to witness. Things flying around all over like we are in the middle of the Wizard of Oz. However, perfect night to stay in where it's relatively warm and talk about some cards. First, I'd like to start this video by taking my opportunity to welcome the two newest members of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Fred McGriff and Scott Rolen. McGriff, that's his 1986 rated rookie. And Scott Rolen, that's his 1996 Topps Prospects card. So welcome, Scott and Fred, to the Baseball Hall of Fame. At this point, as you guys have been kind of taking a journey along with me, we've been kind of revisiting some of my vintage sets and seeing where I stand. And I've been sort of pleasantly surprised at the amount of elite cards I had from some of those vintage sets. A lot of times the bigger names are missing, but you know, there's always one or two big names that I thought were missing that are actually in there. This one will be no different. We'll find some cards in here that I'm sure will be shocking, and then some that, you know, are expectedly missing. What we're reviewing today is the 1970 Topps baseball set. Always loved this set. It's a set that I've been trying to put together for a long time. I'll pick up lots here and there. In fact, one of my earlier videos when I first started this channel was me picking up a lot of 1970 and finding a Reggie Jackson second-year card in it. So let's, without further ado, discuss the 1970 Topps baseball set. Now, here's the deal. Like I said, this set is in a binder, so as you guys may or may not know, but when it comes to binders, I can't really set up the tripod, so what I do is I try to pick out cards that are the better cards and sort of focus in on them. All right, so this is a 720 card set, the biggest up until this point for Topps. They also, I guess, according to a subscriber and someone I view his channel as well, Huck Sports Cards, he told me that this was, I watched in his video, that this was the first time that the packs went from 5 cents to 10 cents. So that's interesting. So let's look at the set, see where we're at. There should be 720 cards in the set. If I check my notes here, what I'm going to find is that I'm missing quite a few. So let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 72 cards I'm missing from this 720 card set, which isn't bad. Most of them high numbers. All right, so let's sort of tackle this as we go and see where we're at. All right. So I'm also, as is common, I'm going to go through and identify which cards, if I see them, cards that I like to feature. For example, that one there. That's a Carl Yastrzemski. Nice card. Pretty good shape. I've had that one upgraded a couple of times. Hoyt Wilhelm. So already I'm missing card 9. But here's one that I'm not missing. Vita Blue. This is one of the cards that lists for over $10 a card. There is about 20 of them or so. And this is one of them. So that was good to see that I had that one in there. I was pretty sure I did. But, you know, you get it as you go. Tug McGraw. Bernie Carbo. Obviously, the key card in this set, one of the key cards. I shouldn't say the key card. I mean, it's the key rookie card in this set. It's Thurman Munson. And I'm 99.9999999% sure I don't have it. In fact, I'm 100% sure I don't have it. But that's the key rookie, but it's not nearly one of the most expensive cards in the set. Okay, it just isn't. As you can see, I'm doing exceptionally well on the low numbers, which is not uncommon in this set. Most people, if you probably ran into a collector and they said, "Hey, I got a bunch of 1970s," they're probably going to tell you that they have most of the low series. Just a fact. So here's a nice card. Pete Rose and Bob Clemente, or Roberto Clemente. Batting leaders, Rod Carew, Reggie Smith, Tony Oliva. RBI leaders in the National League, Willie McCovey, Ron Santo, Tony Perez. Harmon Killebrew, Boog Powell, Reggie Jackson. Hank Aaron and Willie McCovey in home run leaders. AL home run leaders, Harmon Killebrew and Reggie Jackson. Pitching leaders, Tom Seaver, Fergie Jenkins, Juan Marichal, and Phil Niekro. ERA leaders, Jim Palmer on that list, Dick Bozeman. All right, so as you can see, I'm missing a couple of leader cards here. Bob Gibson on this one with Bill Singer and Ferguson Jenkins. And Mickey Lolich, strikeout leaders, and Sam McDowell and Andy Messersmith. And then we go back to the base cards. So I've always told you I'm a big fan of those league leaders because usually, typically, each card has numerous Hall of Famers on it. Jim Cott. Sorry if following this way is difficult, but it really is hard to set up a tripod when you're doing it like this. Tim McCarver, Phillies. Trying to see if there's anything. I mean, this shouldn't be too long of a video because, quite frankly, when you get to the high numbers, it's pretty much empty pages. I mean, it's not completely empty because you find a Mel Stottlemyre, Joe Rudy, the guy who almost made it to the Red Sox, had a deal reneged by Major League Baseball. Carl Morton. Sparky Lyle. And obviously the next big rookie in this set is Munson, and I don't have him. So we're just kind of scouring what we do have. Always nice to have the checklists unmarked. So the lower grade set is in pretty nice shape. So there's the Reggie Jackson I picked up. Got that as part of a lot that actually had a couple of really nice cards in it. in that lot I bought from eBay. And I overpaid a little bit for that, I would say. But it was, you know, there were quite a few stars, so I'm willing to overpay a little when there's stars in the lot. Harmon Killebrew. So the Reggie Jackson and the Harmon Killebrew, both cards that are listed on the trading card database as cards over $10. I believe the Jackson, surprisingly, doesn't list for as much as I thought it would. I'm sure in high grade it's very sought after, you know what I mean? Because these cards would be incredibly difficult to get high grades on. The centering was atrocious. There's Phil Niekro, the Braves. Al Oliver. That's got a nice centering to it. That's not too bad. It's got some dinged corners, though. Ed Kranepool. I'm sorry, Ed Kirkpatrick. Sorry. Billy Williams. That's a nice one. Tommy John. Imagine having a horrible surgery named after you. It's kind of like having a horrible disease named after you. Circa Lou Gehrig. And here we go. This is where Thurman Munson should be. So that's... But as I was saying before, the Thurman Munson is not nearly the most expensive card in the set. So that sort of shocked me a little bit. But it wasn't. It really wasn't. So I was stunned by that. And of course, a lot of the cards that are, there's Joe Torre. A lot of the cards that are really expensive, I've got most of the World Series cards. A lot of the cards that are really expensive are cards that are in the high series. You know, Bert Campaneris. It's in pretty nice shape. Like I said, the low series is in pretty good shape. I have quite a bit of it. There's Ted Williams, manager card. Juan Marichal, one of the more underrated players in the hobby. Steve Carlton. That I think also might have come out of that lot that I bought off of eBay. Or I might have bought that from the flea market from somebody who came in. I'm not positive, but you can look back at some of the videos. I'll put some of those videos in the description. I did a video of both that purchase on the on eBay as well as the one I picked up at the flea market, right? Because that's just kind of a random find when it comes in like that. Brooks Robinson. So I have a lot of the better players from the low series, and that's always nice. You know, you got to get them, so it's nice to have them. But missing Thurman Munson. I'm in the works on a deal to try to bring in a Thurman Munson into the set. Willie McCovey. Very nice conditioned card. Sorry, I'm just trying to spot some of the better cards for you guys. We don't get really back into the expensive cards until we hit the 300s, which we are close. Tommy Aaron. There's another important rookie card. It's Bill Lee. Not in the best of shape. It's got some rounding on the corners, but not bad. Not bad. The next rookie of consequence is this one, Bill Buckner. The Bill Buckner rookies there. So I believe I have all the other key rookies. You know, maybe I might be missing some late series rookies, but I wouldn't consider them, excuse me, key rookies. They just rookies of common players that happen to be. There's Rod Carew. It's a nice one. Pretty good centering on that Rod Carew. So tough to find these cards well centered and such. So the next big card would be Tom Seaver. Not an expensive card. It's a $12 card, but it is missing. So no Tom Seaver. Here's some of those more Sporting News playoff cards or highlights cards. Mike Torres, Louis Aparicio. I wanted to devote a little bit more time to this video, Lou Piniella. Because this is one of those sets that I really, really covet completing. It's one of only 3 sets in the 70s that I don't have finished. Lou Brock. And I really like to get it finished. But it's not an easy set. I mean, the high numbers in this set, along with 71 and 72, are a challenge. There's no 2 ways about it. It's Tony Conigliaro, young Red Sox who never had the career he should have had after being hit with the baseball in the eye. So let's see if we can find... There we go. That's the next big card right there. Roberto Clemente. Pirates. That's a nice one. I didn't realize I had that one. This card actually, according to the database, sells higher than the Thurman Munson. So, the next big one is in the 400s. There's Curt Flood and Pedro Bourboin. So this is another one of the. This is the other, I would say, last of the key rookies. So I have 4 key rookies, and I'm missing Munson. There's one other big card, because I did a little prep on this video. There's one other big card I'm missing. It's a doozy, and basically because of where it's located in the set. I mean, don't get me wrong, the player is a great player. Probably the best at his position. But it's Tony Perez. But it's a doozy because of where it's located in the Gil Hodges manager card, where it's located in the set. I mean, don't get me wrong, the card would be valuable either way, but the thing that makes it so outlandish in price, especially, you know, where it ranks price-wise, is because of especially raw, especially raw. So you see, there's a couple of missing slots here and there. Trying to speed this up a little bit if we can. Bobby Bonds. Another checklist. I mean, checklists are important. I mean, especially the older the set gets, the more expensive the checklists become. Bill Mazeroski. And we got a couple of big cards coming up. So there's Jim Palmer. He's on the He's not on the list. So believe it or not, Jim Palmer's card, according to the database, is ranked under $10. Willie McCovey All-Star card. Oh, Palmer is on the list. Excuse me. Palmer is on the list. There's Boog Powell. I really do like these All-Star cards. Brooks Robinson, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, second-year All-Star. Pete Rose. Pete Rose is on the list. It's one of the few All-Star cards that is on the list. And the other one is Johnny Bench. And I don't have Johnny Bench. Oh, I do have Johnny Bench. How about that? Johnny Bench All-Star card. This is on the list of sort of expensive cards for this set if you were trying to do it piecemeal one at a time. Juan Marichal. So as you can see, there are some All-Stars here missing. I would have to identify who those are, but there's a few of them missing. I apologize if me kind of doing this freehand is difficult for folks. It's not out of spite or to give you vertigo. The idea is it's just easier to Craig Nettles. It's just easier to focus on a card if you're not constantly trying to move an tripod. Raleigh Fingers. I try to go slow as I can anyway. So this is, just to go back here, this is where another key card would have been. That's slot 500. That's Hank Aaron. Okay. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty. There's Joe Niekro. Let's see if there's anybody on this page. Larry Boa. Pretty much. Sorry, that's where somebody should have been. So nothing major here. Joe Morgan. It's a nice card. Joe Morgan doesn't really get the love in the hobby either that I think he should. Right? Because Joe Morgan's a great player. Right? Big Red Machine. Big time player. Ed Kranepool. There's Ed Kranepool. Orlando Cepeda. Gaylord Perry. Sorry, these videos on these vintage. I could talk vintage for a while, so I apologize if you guys don't like big, long videos, but I like talking about cards, and if I'm going to make a video, it's go big or go home. Jim Brewer. Fergosi is also on that page. And there we go. Pete Rose. So that's a big one, card 580. And I'm going to kind of skip through some of these pages because I know I'm missing card 600, which is Willie Mays. So this should go a little bit quicker here. Jerry Kuzman. And there's a big one, Ernie Banks. Now, because of where this card is located, it's an expensive card. This Ernie Banks on the trading card database lists for roughly around $70. I don't know how accurate those prices are. I know that a lot of you guys use other vintage grading card sites. This is another one, another big one, Al Kaline. This one I definitely picked up in the lot from eBay. It did come with some high numbers. That's one of the main reasons I bought it. Because primarily, I'm going to avoid buying lots of 1970s if they don't have high numbers. Here's Jim Longborg. That's another card that, because of where it is over $10. There we go. That's a better shot of Longborg. And that's probably the last big one. Card number 700 would be Frank Robinson. That's expensive because of where it's located. And then, of course, the most expensive card in the set I do not have. It is Nolan Ryan, card number 712. And again, because the rest are pretty much commons, and that's because of where it's located. So that's where this thing stands. There's some good cards in here. There's some good cards missing. So there's a lot of work to be done on the 1970. Like I said, I'm 72 cards short on one of the biggest tops I've made to that point. Well, that's it, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you for helping me welcome the new Hall of Famers to the Hall of Fame. I'll have them in for personalized interviews soon. I'm pretty sure Fred McGriff and Scott Rolen would both answer my call. Just kidding. Unless you guys want to come on, and I'll be glad to interview you. I have some experience with that. If you happen to watch the video. If you enjoy the content, you like looking at old vintage cards, and in this case, some junk wax era cards, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I want to thank all of the people who have supported the channel, the new additions that we've gotten in the last couple of weeks. Still trying to hit that number of 100. That's the first big goal. So just a quick note of what's coming up. I've done my baseball top 10. I've done my football top 10. In honor of All-Star Weekend, I'm hoping to release on All-Star Sunday this weekend a top 10 hockey list. So for all you hockey guys out there, I haven't forgotten about you, and I'm eagerly putting that list together. I might even have to make it 20 cards because I got a lot of cool hockey cards, and I love hockey, and my Bruins are having a great year. So that's the last thing I'll say. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, you're a trooper and a true vintage lover. Thanks so much for watching the channel, and as always, happy hunting, guys. Thank you.